and welcome to the Bakersfield College Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships Facebook page and our live presentation of 7 myths you probably believe about scholarships. This presentation was recorded earlier, however, our slides were not showing, so we've gone ahead and re-recorded it for you so you can follow along with the presentation as intended. Regardless, we would like you to know that scholarships are open now. The application period opened on October 1st and will remain open until February 1st, 2021. So you still have the rest of this November, all of December, and all of January to submit your application before the scholarship period closes. So that's great news. We also want to provide you with this information because a lot of students do not submit a scholarship application due to one of these myths. So if we can dispel this myth for you, we will hopefully get you to complete an application and get some money in your hand for next school year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda Stone. I am the program manager for scholarships here at Bakersfield College. My contact information is provided on this slide because I want you to know that you can reach out to me whenever you need help with your scholarships. If you have questions about the current scholarship application, or if you are experiencing any kind of difficulty with an outside scholarship or just scholarships in general, give me an email and let me see what I can do for you. So my email address is shown here is amanda.stone@bakersfieldcollege.edu. So feel free to send me any messages you might have about your scholarship application, either during or after this presentation. As mentioned before, scholarships are open now and they'll remain open until February 1st. You can access the application online by going to bakersfieldcollege.edu/apply-for-money. This website will also give you access to the FAFSA application and DREAM Act application if you wish to do those as well, which we highly encourage you to do so, all from one page. So if you remember nothing else, remember to apply for money. All right, so myth number 7. The myth here is that you have to attend full-time in order to get scholarships. This myth is absolutely 100% false. You do not need to be a full-time student to get scholarships at Bakersfield College. You simply need to be in at least 6 units. So half-time, which is just 2 classes usually here at Bakersfield College. Now, with that said, some scholarships do have specific enrollment requirements, and those would be stated in the criteria of the scholarship. So when you get notified that you've received a scholarship, make sure you read closely to see if there is any enrollment requirement for your scholarship. If it doesn't say anything, then your enrollment requirement will just be half-time. All right, so again, you do not have to be full-time in order to receive scholarships at BC. So go ahead and submit your application today. All right, myth number 6. If you don't get grants, you don't get scholarships. This myth I hear very often in the financial aid office or when we're out talking to students. They say, well, I didn't qualify for any Pell Grants or federal state grants, so I'm not gonna get any scholarships. This is a complete myth. Only 30% of our scholarships require financial need, which means the vast majority, 70% of our scholarships do not look at your financial eligibility whatsoever. They're just based on a merit and academic performance and your ability to talk about yourself on your scholarship application. So if you don't usually qualify for grants, then you should be applying for scholarships because it's the one area where you don't necessarily need to be eligible for those other aid programs in order to receive funding. Now, you should know also that BC determines scholarship need as being eligible for the California College Promise Grant. So even non-Pell eligible students can qualify for this by completing a FAFSA application or a DREAM Act application and being deemed eligible for the California College Promise Grant. If this is the case for you, that means not only will you get the Promise Grant to cover your tuition, but you'll also now be considered having need for scholarships. So it does help you to complete an application just in case to see if you can at least get those two forms of aid. If you need any help applying for either the FAFSA, DREAM Act application, or scholarship application, you can visit the Financial Aid Virtual Lobby at our website and just click on the button that says Visit Virtual Lobby. So again, if you don't get grants, you can definitely still get scholarships. All right, myth number 5. You have to be a US citizen to apply for scholarships. No, you don't. In fact, most of our scholarships do not have a US citizenship requirement or even require FAFSA eligibility, which we just talked about. So you certainly do not need to be a US citizen in order to qualify for scholarships. We do even have a number of scholarships that are directly, specifically intended for students who are not US citizens. So this would include AB 540 eligible students, undocumented or DACA students, and international students as well. We have scholarships available for you specifically, but only if you apply. So get in your application. Don't let your citizenship status stop you from submitting a scholarship application here at Bakersfield College. The next myth number 4, you need faculty references in order to apply for scholarships. Now, while our scholarship application does ask for references too, actually, these references are optional for Bakersfield College students. Your references also do not have to be a faculty member. Most students do choose a faculty member for their reference because they are most closely familiar with that student's academic abilities. However, if you have someone else who you feel like also is familiar with you as a student, you can include them as your reference as well. So for example, if you participate in an off-campus organization in some kind of volunteer or leadership capacity, someone there at that organization could certainly serve as an excellent reference for your scholarship application. So again, this does not need to be a faculty reference, although it certainly can be a professor, and they are optional. So if you're scratching your brain, you can't figure out which 2 people you would list as a reference on your application, skip it. Go ahead and submit your application by the deadline. If you think of someone after the fact and the scholarship application is still open, you can go in and edit your application and add them to your scholarship application. All right, myth number 3, you can't apply if you're transferring. So you think, well, I'm not going to be here at BC next year because I'll be at CSU or going to some other universities. So I can't apply for scholarships. Wrong, wrong, wrong. In fact, you of all people should be applying for scholarships because we have nearly 70 scholarships that are available to transfer students. If you are awarded one of these scholarships, we just send the money to your new school. This money can certainly help you tackle the costs at your university, which is much higher than here at the community college level. So definitely, if you are transferring, you should be applying for scholarships because this is the one place where you can take some of that money on the road with you as you move on to your next academic experience. You also don't have to be going to a CSU or UC in order to get a transfer scholarship. Well, it would need to be a 4-year university, It can be anyone unless it's specifically stated in that scholarship's criteria. We do have some that require specific colleges that you'll be attending. However, the majority of them just say transfer. So it could be a transfer to any of the four-year universities in the nation. Okay, we're getting closer to myth number 1, but this one is very close to that top myth. Myth number 2, you need a 4.0 GPA in order to get scholarships. No, not true at all. Our minimum GPA requirement for scholarships is a 2.0 or a C average here at Bakersfield College. So our picture usually of a scholarship recipient is someone who's gotten perfect grades from their first class to their last. However, most of our scholarships do not require that high of a standard of academic performance. What they're interested in is in students who are persistent and determined to complete their educations. So if you have at least a 2.0 GPA, you should definitely be applying for scholarships here at Bakersfield College. In fact, we do have a number of scholarships that don't have any GPA requirement listed at all, which means it would default to our 2.0 standard. So unless it's explicitly stated in the criteria that you need a certain GPA, then that requirement is going to default to 2.0. And if you're at least a C average student, then you can qualify for scholarships here at Bakersfield College. All right, drum roll please. The last and most common myth I hear that prevents students from applying for scholarships is that they believe you have to write a ton of essays. So one scholarship, a whole essay for that, another scholarship, a whole essay for that. No. The Bakersfield College scholarship application is far easier than you probably think. Our scholarship application has just 3 100-word personal statements required on it. 3 100-word statements. You probably wrote more words than that in your discussion board this week in your classes. This is not a huge task that we are asking you to complete, and most students have a much easier time with the 100-word statements than they do with large essay chunks. So if, however, though, you are still feeling a little intimidated by the idea of writing about yourself, then I suggest you catch our essay tips workshop next week on Monday the 9th at 12 p.m. right back here on Facebook. Or you can also visit the BC Writing Center, which is still open virtually, and ask for help writing your scholarship essays. But I highly recommend you come to our workshop on Monday to get some tips on how to bring your scholarship essays from meh to yeah. Okay, it's much easier than you think it is, and with my help, you'll be able to really stand out among the crowd. All right, so those were our top 7 myths. How many of them were you walking around believing before? I hope that you will complete your scholarship application now that you know which of those myths are not true, which is all of them, right? And we will take these next 3 steps. The first is to get your scholarship application started, which you can do online at bakersfieldcollege.edu/apply-for-money. That's right there on the screen. Go ahead and write it down. We'll also go ahead and drop it in the comments below. The next thing I want you to do is watch our next workshop next week on essay writing. So if you want to take your essays from meh to yeah, then go ahead and add yourself to the events page on our Facebook so you don't forget to tune in to that workshop next week. The last thing that you should do if you need any help with your scholarship application whatsoever is to visit the financial aid virtual lobby. You'll just go to our website, and right there on the home page, you'll see a big button that says Visit Virtual Lobby. Just click on that and you'll be logged into a Zoom session to speak with a financial aid professional right there on the spot. Okay. Again, I thank you so much for tuning in to this workshop. I hope that you will complete your application and realize that it was far easier and you were far more eligible than you thought you were before. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.